Let's just check.
Sure. All right, we thought we were going to die there for a moment, but all is good. Premier, welcome to Acheson.
Well, thank you.
We were excited a year ago, and when that got put off, we were disappointed. But we want to welcome you to Acheson. Acheson is the second largest business park in Alberta and growing, and so we appreciate that. On behalf of the Acheson Business Association, we want to present, if Grand Prairie can do it, we can do it. We want to present you with a beautiful downtown Acheson T-shirt.
Wonderful!
We hope you will
love
wear
it. I sure
everywhere.
will. Absolutely. I'm always looking for pens because I lose them all, and T-shirts, so that I have I have workout gear. So thank you for that.
If you could wear that in the legislature, we'd be very happy. It stems out of our ABA Acheson in the Park podcast that we do every week in beautiful downtown Acheson. So that's a shameless plug there, folks. Anyway, Premier, thank you. We don't have a lot of time with you left, but you did answer a number of the questions that we had on our list. But the looming question, and the one that I started with at the very beginning, and the reason I didn't really spend a lot of time with it is because I thought now I would have some more time, is the Highway 60 overpass.
Yeah.
And that is a big issue for those of you who work in Acheson. Know that 27 times a day, the train goes through Acheson and holds up traffic. In 2019, the government at that time promised an overpass would be built. And here we are in 2024 and no overpass. Can you give us an update on that, a good update on that?
I hope so. I do have some notes that I was given so that, first of all, I think Devin Dreeshen, as our Transportation and Economic Corridors Minister, is doing a great job. He tries to find all of these areas where we're finding bottlenecks and roadblocks and clear them out of the way. So this is the latest that he has told me, is that the design is nearing completion. So you do the design first, so that it's like the measure twice, cut once kind of idea, that if you do a good design, then you can move more quickly and through the construction phase without having to do a lot of change orders. So a couple things we're working on. The remaining road twinning through Acheson, which also includes a twin structure of the CN Rail line and a new bridge over Highway 16A. The CN Rail bridge overpass structures have been redesigned based on discussions with CN Rail. So working with CN has been complicated. There's 2 properties that remain to be acquired. I gather that Tech is finalizing the property purchase with one of the 2 remaining landowners. I don't know the status of the other. The last property is still outstanding, and the department continues to have discussions with the landowner to come to an understanding. So that sounds to me like code that they're maybe having some difficult negotiations there. There is one utility relocation that remains outstanding, and due to those 2 things, the tender won't be able to be out until mid-summer of 2025, with construction tentatively starting in fall-winter of 2025. And then, of course, it would take 3 to 4 years to complete after that. So it sounds to me like you'll have to have me back in a year to make sure that we're meeting those timelines. But those are the things that I've been given as the update.
Well, great. Yeah, great.
Maybe I should talk to who's the holdout on that property. Exactly. Maybe we should track that person down, see if we can move things along there.
So tonight, we'd like to talk to you afterwards. I'll probably be retired by the time this all happens. But nonetheless, thank you for the update. We appreciate that. And it is a concern out here. You covered some, as I mentioned, you covered some of the questions already, but this is a good question here. SMEs often struggle to navigate available support programs, unlike larger companies that have access to concierge services through entities such as Invest Alberta. And so, given this gap, what steps will your government take to create similar, easily accessible resources or support services tailored to SMEs? Acheson is full of SMEs, and to help them access vital programs for funding.
There's a couple of programs that we have, and Matt Jones, who's my Jobs, Economy, and Trade Minister, again, another minister who just does amazing work, and he's been traveling on a whole pile of trade missions trying to open up new markets for us. But when we were going through doing a productivity review of all of our programs, there's one program that he has called the Investment and Growth Fund that we're pretty excited about. think it has $15 million that we budget for it each year. But when he went back and looked at how we do that program, one of the things that we do is we use it as the closing amount to bridge to the final investment decision. And the amounts can be anywhere from a couple $100,000 up to, I believe, $3 million. And when we look at the dollars that we invest versus the dollars that it helps to leverage for private sector investment, it's a $1 to $29 return. So it is one of our most successful programs that we've advanced. So one of the things we're talking about is how do we make that more accessible? If we can have more dollars associated to that type of program that has that level of return, maybe we can start winding down some of the other programs that don't have quite the same level of return. But jobs economy is also, they've created a business locator. I don't know if you've gone online to have a look at it. They invested a lot of money in this, where they've got data for 6,000 different commercial sites in there, so that you can do your assessment of what all the infrastructure is in an area when it comes to trying to find a location for a new business investment. So we're really hopeful that that is going to also make life easier for the counties that are working on attracting new investment, but also for businesses that are looking for a place to invest. The other one that seems to be working, although I'd be interested in taking your feedback, is the Emissions Reduction Alberta Fund. We're pretty happy with the way that they've been able to put investment dollars in and be able to fund really just seed pilot projects that have some of them turned out to be quite successful. So we gave some seed money to Ever Technologies, as a for instance, and now they're becoming a real leader in geothermal. We've given money to E3 for lithium. They're also becoming a world leader. We gave money for direct air capture, and Occidental came along and purchased it for $1 billion, and now that's being rolled out in the United States. We gave money as well to 18, I believe, different hydrogen projects, as well as about a similar number of bitumen beyond combustion projects. So again, those are tailored for innovators who are looking to do something new in the energy space. So I would put that forward. That one is done through Rebecca Schultz, who is our Minister of Environment and Protected Areas. But we've got an independent board that assesses all of the different programs that are and all of the different proposals that come forward. And just, it seems to me like they do a lot of micro grants. The other part that we're trying to do, though, is just generally create a business environment that is going to be attractive, which is why we had the low corporate income tax rate. We don't have health premiums. We don't have a sales tax. We don't have payroll tax. We don't have a capital tax. We've got one of the lowest personal income tax rates. And we want to be able to offer that as the competitive advantage so that it's available to everyone. So I mentioned a couple of programs that I think are working pretty well, but I'd be interested if you've got any other thoughts about what we should be looking at. Maybe I'll put this to you because you're also a policy think tank. And I've put this forward to the chambers as well, is I think the next thing we would like to find a way to incentivize is the connection of young people with jobs that are available in the various fields. One of the things that we have noticed, Rajan Sani just went to Germany, and when she came back, she said, that's very interesting about their chambers. The chambers aren't so much advocacy and policy think tanks. They actually are networkers to connect young people with jobs. And so I'm going to just put that to you because there are a lot of innovators who go out there and try to find a way to establish these training programs. So I'll give you one example. It's a company in Airdrie where they have kids on site building homes, manufactured homes, but they've moved a classroom to the job site. So what happens is the kids take the academic programs from a teacher in the morning, and then they go and work on the job site in the afternoon. And the kids who are working the job site in the morning do the academic courses in the afternoon. It just requires 2 teachers with a virtual classroom. And I just wonder how many others could do something like that. But what is the way that we can incentivize that to happen? They're doing it because they're paying it forward. They're expecting that when they train the kids will be in the profession and they'll be with them for a lifetime. And I think it's working out for them. But is there some kind of training credit that we can offset so that we can unlock some of the innovation and job opportunities that you have, defray a few of your costs, but also help train the workforce of the future? I just gave that one example to see if that kind of gets anything rolling for you. But we are very open to hearing the kinds of programs that you think might be tailored to the small and medium business sector.
That is really cool. That is really cool.
There's a
I like
few
that.
out there
I
that
think
are really
I think
neat.
Acheson is ripe for some of that.
Totally.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, and you know, I should say this to Dawn. Dawn, I'd love to connect you with Michael McMahon, who is one of the most innovative superintendents of school up in the Fort Vermilion. So you might know Dan Williams, who is from that Lacrete area. You probably know a few of the Lacrete Mafia up there, so maybe I would recommend that you get connected with them. But he's created with $5 million investment. He didn't use the money for we gave schools extra money for COVID accommodations. He didn't need it, so he saved it up, and instead he created a driving school. So he created a driving school. So he actually has these young people being trained on how to drive commercial vehicles. And so when they graduate, they have the accreditation. So that's one way in which they're defraying the costs. The other thing that they did is they build micro homes so that they get the kids building homes that then get taken out to the community of high level. And then they've learned all of the different building trades associated with building a home. They have a separate facility where they can do training for healthcare aides and paramedic. And they also just bought virtual reality type of machines so that they can train kids on, excavators and various other equipment. With their little $5 million investment, they're able to expose kids to 200 to 300 different professions. And so when I say this is the kind of thing we are encouraging all of our schools to do, part of what they're going to need is an industry partner. So I know perhaps that hasn't been the place that you've looked in the past. Maybe it's been the Norquests and various other post-secondary, but we're trying to drive it down a level lower so that we can get these kids connected early. Because I think I saw Terry. Terry, good to see you. Terry was on the Jobs for Trade Task Force, and that's when our government realized that young people aren't getting connected to apprenticeship programs until the average age of 27. So when you think about that, they're either wasting 10 years until they find out what they're really meant to do, or they're going to school and getting a BA, and then a master's, then a PhD, and then realizing, gee, I have to go back to get a trades program to get a job. But either way, we shouldn't be wasting the lives of these young kids. If we can connect them faster to the jobs that are available out there, I think it'll just change everything for our economy and change everything for their lives too.
Premier, we have to stop. I'm told if I don't stop, I'm fired.
I talk too much, don't I? I always talk long.
I just want to say one more thing that we haven't acknowledged tonight that I think is really important, and that is 91.5% on the leadership. That's fantastic, Prime Minister. I mean, Premier, I really think that's
Can I
great.
tell you a funny joke? It's become a bit of a punchline.
But from now on, you're talking. It's not me, Catherine. She's talking now.
Well, it's just funny because I was at a tourism event, and WestJet got up there, and of course WestJet has had a bit of a bumpy summer, but they've said that that's now their new bar. They're going to aim for 91.5% customer satisfaction after that. So, and I think they're moving in the right direction too, because they've increased the number of direct flights from the Edmonton area. Anyway, next time we'll make sure that we've got a little bit more time for Q&A. Thank you so much for hosting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.